Okay, so Vic Fangio just admitted that they got plans to let Quinyon Mitchell travel or shadow the number one wide receiver. Meanwhile, on day two of training camp, they flip flopped the safety and outside corner position, which are the biggest two battles of all camp. So much to break down, including a splash play by Moro Ojomo. Plus, Fangio has a honest take about Cindy Brown, and Jalen Hurts continues to cook with one of his best training camp throws ever. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and it's the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with our Philadelphia Eagles, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. Day two of Eagles training camp is done. Once again, they decided to go padless. However, they will be putting the pads on shortly, and everything ramps up once the pads come on. Still, though, some good work from a lot of young guys. And Fangio spoke today and broke down some key things that we need to talk about, although Jalen Hurts and the offense was cooking.
Yeah, we have a lot of battles going on for starting jobs in the different packages. We got some good players battling for it, and it will be interesting. If you ask me to predict who's winning those jobs right now, it's a guess. And hopefully we'll get them enough practice time and rep time that it will sort itself out.
The way Vic Fangio opened up the meeting talking about we're going to have a lot of camp battles lets me know things are going to be shooken up all through camp to find out who wins what job. As for Cooper DeJean playing at the safety position in base formation day one of camp, he also did it day two of camp. Listen to why Fangio's playing him at safety.
I mean, the primary motive is, we'd like to have him be part of our base package. And I do believe he can play safety. It's new for him. So we're going to give him some work there. Then you'll see days in the base where will play some corner. So it's going to be an evolution, and a lot of it will depend upon how well we do at those positions with the other guys. So, we'll make the best decision for the team based upon. So it's not only how he's doing; it's going to be determined by how everybody's doing at safety and corner.
As I said when Fangio first mentioned Cooper DeJean possibly playing safety or corner in base formation, this training camp, he's going to pay attention to Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, and also Cindy Brown and Andrew Makuba. And the worst of the group, or the worst of the starter, that is where Cooper DeJean will play in base formation. That means Eagle Nation, we really got to be focused on the Keely Ringo versus Adoree Jackson battle and the Andrew Makuba versus Cindy Brown battle. But there's even bigger news. These guys who play safety and or corner might have to get used to Quinyon Mitchell traveling or shadowing the wide receiver one on good teams. Because Vic Fangio was straight up asked, why have you been playing Quinyon Mitchell sometimes on the left and sometimes on the right through OTAs and early in training camp?
Well, if we ever get to the point where we want to match him on his particular receiver, he's got to know how to play both sides. If we want to play him at left or versus right, so we'll figure that out on a weekly basis.
Do you view the two as different? There's a thought, I guess, that the left corner gets a little bit more action because it's the right-handed quarterback. Is that true?
Yeah, that's kind of proven to not be true over the years.
When it comes to cornerbacks traveling with a receiver, do you have any kind of philosophy on when you want to do that?
Yeah, when it's warranted, and when there's two factors. One, is there a guy worth doing on the other team worth doing it? And two, can your guys do it? Because there's a lot involved with doing it defensively. And I've had years in a row where we never did it. Then I've had years where we did it every week. And so, again, it will be an evolution.
Interesting. In OTAs, Quinyon Mitchell was asked personally by a media member about going to the left one day, going to the right. Do you think Fangio will let you travel, and do you want to travel? He said he's down to travel. I talked about it on Twitter and YouTube, and everybody said, no, 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 no. Fangio don't let cornerbacks travel because of the way his defense is set up, this, that, and the third. And I said, yeah, He normally don't, but he has before. And he just told you out of his own mouth that he did it years all the time and some years never. It depends on the defense, not just the corner. Can he travel, but can the defense adjust to him traveling? The other corner, the safeties, the linebackers. So I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but pay attention. CB1, Quinyon Mitchell, has the potential to be a lockdown traveling corner, and we'll just see what happens. In Fangio, we trust. As for today's training camp, once again, no pads and no practice for Jalen Carter, Kenyon Green. Both players were out of practice yesterday and today. Shouldn't be much longer, especially for Jalen Carter. They list it as a shoulder injury, but it's nothing to be concerned of. Let's flip things over to the offense since there's not much to talk about, more on defense. But Jalen Hurts was once again cooking. He started the day off with 9 straight completions, throwing a tight window pass to A.J. Brown. Then he rolled out and hit Devontae Smith 15 to 20 yards down the field for a toe tap catch. And lastly, according to Elias Shore Parks, Hurts with the best throw of the offseason so far, maybe one of the better practice throws he's ever made. Perfect pass to Dallas Goedert between 3 defenders. Beautiful touch on it. Looks like Jalen Hurts is continuing his hot streak from OTAs. And if you like the training camp rep stats that Eliot Shore Parks provides, through 2 practices via training camp and 3 OTAs that Eliot Shore Parks got to watch, he says that Jalen Hurts is 86 of 93. That's a 93% completion percentage. Now, I know you can't have that in the regular season. However, Jalen Hurts is learning how this offense works, where to go with the ball. Even if it's not a deep pass down the field, he's carving up the defense and making the right choice. Good completion percentages go far in the NFL. It's as simple as that. And if the NFL tries to shut down Saquon Barkley coming off that 2K season, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' passing game is going to be absolutely ready. Flipping back over to the defensive side, Jihaad Campbell continues to impress in pass coverage. Truly looks like a safety out there. He's going to be a starter for sure. He's too good not to be. He doesn't look limited at all. And Eliot Shore Parks, once again, said when you see this man get to full steam, side to sidelines, it's impressive, although it's just training camp with no pads. Vic Fangio talked about it today. He wasn't expected Jihaad Campbell. He liked what he saw early, and he's happy he's out there. He said the trainers told him maybe early August, not late July, which is a good sign. As for the starting corner opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, Adoree Jackson got the first team cornerback start today. Yesterday was Kelee Ringo, but halfway through practice, they switched where Kelee Ringo got first team reps and Adoree Jackson got second team reps. As we talked about earlier, there are training camp battles, so they're going to keep rotating these guys to see who wins. Same with the safety position. Andrew Makuba was the other first team safety alongside of Reed Blankenship today, as Sidney Brown was yesterday. Vic Fangio was straight up asked about Sidney Brown, how he feels about him, what's his role, all this stuff. Listen what he said.
Yeah, you just got to go out there and play good. I mean, so much of the safety position is just like ILB, where instincts and play recognition play a major part in how good you are. And he just needs a lot of reps. You know, like he didn't start practicing last year until October, you know, and at that point you're in game weeks where you don't practice a whole lot. You don't have a lot of reps. So he didn't have a great opportunity last year because of his injury. And hopefully now we'll see exactly what he can do. And he had a good offseason, did well yesterday, and we'll see how he does.
He's doing good thus far, but it's a long training camp, especially for Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba, Kelee Ringo, and Adoree Jackson. Staying on the topic of safety, Andre Sam got a look with the first team defense as well during the second session of team drills, which we didn't see much of in OTAs, so maybe he made an impression. Zack Baun had a nice PBU on Hurts' pass across the middle to Devontae. First time a Hurts pass has been touched by a defender's hand so far this season. Zack Baun continuing to play with that all pro recognition. Moving on to the defensive line, it was solid today, but Moro Ojomo made a splash play against the second team offensive lineman to force a quick throw away out of a sack, but the throw was supposed to be fast anyway. Moro Ojomo beat the guy from the gate. It was crazy the way he got past him, according to reports. Haven't heard too much yet about the Vanilla Gorilla, Ty Robinson, although he impressed in OTAs. Don't worry, it's early. The pads are still not on. His time will come. I love the defensive rotation, especially in the interior. But Moro Jomo, breakout season incoming. Lastly, Fangio spoke about the rookie corner Mac McWilliams, how he likes him in the slot, but he can also compete at the corner position.
Who?
Mac McWilliams.
Good. Max, again, a young player that we like. Think he can play the nickel position. Think he's got a chance at corner. And he's an interesting guy here these next 4 or 5 weeks to see how much he progresses and see if he finds a role with us.
Interesting. That's all for day 2. Again, once the pads get on, once the Eagles start showing us footage, then we'll have more to talk about. Each day in training camp ramps up. The more PT during the middle and at the end of training camp for certain players will let us know who's winning, who's losing, and what this defense looks like. Last year, a lot of question marks. They were all answered with great answers. That's why we had the number 1 defense in the NFL, and Fangio looks to repeat it. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike. This is the Philly Talk Podcast. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the videos. I love hearing from y'all. Plus, I found a place for replica Super Bowl rings. I will be sharing that with y'all in tomorrow's video. We might even give away 1 or 2. Shoot. And according to the website, the wings pop out. I love y'all to death. We out.